cast iron pots, outdoor burners, and many related accessories. Find custom outdoor cypress furniture, a unique gift any time of year. The Thibodeau Store, the Pierreport Store, and now expanded into LaRose and Lockport. All 4 sites accessible online at thethibodeaustore.com.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Respect isn't something that's just given. It's earned. It comes from having experience and possessing knowledge that can be passed on to the next generation. Jim's Firearms.
Like most of you, I don't like billboards, and that's why I don't have any. If you've been injured and the insurance company isn't treating you right, I'm Spencer Callahan, and I'd like to help. Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA 2620484, office in Baton Rouge.
Marty and McGee.
Man, them poster racks were awesome, though. They had, like, Bo Jackson, you know, with the baseball bat over his shoulder pads, right? And just looking jacked. And then it'd be Elle McPherson. Yeah. And then it'd be Cindy Crawford. Yeah. And then it would be like Nirvana.
Grateful Dead, bunch of dancing bears. You're like, Jesus, yeah, I should have never gone around behind the wall at Spencer's, Jesus. I apologize.
Marty and McGee, Saturday mornings at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Click through the static and listen to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in high definition. Simply tune to 98.1 and select HD2. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Monday. Means we're brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Braxton Rizzuto, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. Fired up. You were here with us. Hope that work week's off to a good start. Let's get things rolling. We got a lot to do over the next couple of hours. It's a busy weekend. We'll talk about the College World Series. We'll talk about the NBA Finals as well. There's plenty elsewhere going on in the world of sports. I saw a Bleacher Report story, NFL offense's best and worst case scenarios. We'll talk about the New Orleans Saints in hour number 2. College World Series games coming up. One right now, an elimination game between Alabama and Texas. And then this evening, it'll be Georgia and Oklahoma. All SEC action from Charles Schwab Field. So we'll do a little bit of that. We've got some LSU football recruiting to get to in hour number 2 as well. And we'll talk about Clemson coming up in 15 minutes. I've got a series of stories coming up at LouisianaSports.net over the next 2 weeks. Just going 3 things on LSU's 12 football opponents. We'll go one team every single day until we've gone through them all. This is very much not meant to be an in-depth exercise. On June 15th is where we start it. Just a cursory, surface-level view at LSU's opponents. We start with the big opener in Clemson coming up 15 minutes from right now. We start things with LSU baseball. It's our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
Early last week, I looked at LSU's roster and I went, okay, they've got some really interesting pieces here. I really like what they've done in the transfer portal early with getting Dawson Park and Landon Hood. They had to go get a big-time pitcher. They did. They needed to get athletic in the infield. They did. And then Stephen Milam announces he's coming back, and that's awesome. But I'm looking at this going, there needs to be some left-handed juice to this lineup. Because on the right side, you've got Aaron Beatty and you've got Cerna, and you figure those guys are really going to hit with some pop from the right side. Braun may grow into that. He was an on-base machine as a freshman. He profiles with some significant power, but he didn't hit with a ton of that as just a freshman. You need to go find some feared left-handed bats. And then they went and got Bino Waters. And you're like, well, that's a feared left-handed bat. It's the best one in the transfer portal. But Jay Johnson was not done there. He went into the transfer portal over the weekend, went to Uptown New Orleans, and went and got Jason Wachs. I've been calling him Wachs for the last couple of weeks. He hadn't committed to LSU, so a slight mispronunciation of the name, not going to be the end of the world. But once I started getting into the highlight video over the weekend to talk about him and to write about him for LouisianaSports.net, like 8 different play-by-play guys called him Wachs. It's probably Wachs, W-A-C-H-S, and that's an apt name for a left-handed hitter who really hits the ball hard a lot. Now he'll be doing that in purple and gold next year. This is a really, really nice pickup for Jay Johnson and LSU, and it adds to the left-handed thunder now in this lineup. Wachs has hit since he showed up at Tulane. I went back to his freshman season. His first 2 collegiate games at Tulane, he was 4 for 7 with 2 walks. That means he got on base 6 times in the first 2 games as a true freshman, and he has not slowed down over 2 seasons there with the Green Wave. As a freshman, he hit .335. As a sophomore, he hit .327, and you might go, well, his average dipped 8 points, and I wouldn't look too deep into that. Obviously, he had a better year as a sophomore than a freshman. The slugging percentage went up. That was a result of bumping his home run total from 2 to 9. He hit 9 home runs this past year. He hit 14 doubles as a freshman. That jumped to 21 as a sophomore. His slugging improved to .574 over the season. It jumped a total of 90 points from his freshman season. He really did a good job of barreling baseballs. His OPS this past year at Tulane was 1027. Your OPS starts with a 1 and then a decimal, you're hitting. And Wachs was absolutely hitting. I took a long look at his highlight package, and there are a lot of them online, especially on Twitter. Tulane does a really good job of capturing the videos and putting them on their Twitter feed. This guy is exactly what Jay Johnson's talking about. Exactly. And I know that I've said that a few times, but this was the vision. It's what he said in that press conference after the Texas A&M game where he knew LSU was in trouble. And he said, look, we went into the transfer portal and we chased power, and we got to get guys that can use the backside of the field. We got to get guys that can stay on the baseball. We got to get guys that do the hallmark of what LSU baseball is, which is tough at bats, drawing walks, hitting the ball down and hard, scoring runs from third with less than 2 outs, driving the ball against the shift. These are pillars of what LSU has been. It's not going to find a guy that hit 22 home runs against the Sun Belt. And Jason Wachs fits this. He is a great opposite field hitter. A great opposite field hitter. You see a ton of that in his highlight package. He is a on-base machine. He led Tulane in on-base percentage this season, and he had more walks this year than anybody on LSU's roster. 38 walks this year. He is a complete hitter. And the folks over at Overslot do some really cool things with statistics, and I liked the chart that they put together on Jason Wachs. I'll give you a couple of the metrics that I really like. In his average exit velocity, this is a pretty easy stat to track, pretty easy thing to understand. How often do you hit it on the screws? His average exit velocity is in the 91st percentile in college baseball. His barrel rate, how often he hits the ball on the sweet spot of the bat, 83rd percentile in college baseball. His weighted on-base average, which is a sabermetric stat, it's advanced. It's not just on-base percentage, but you understand, without going into the weeds, it's on-base stuff, 86th percentile. He does not chase a lot. He's a guy who takes really good swings at balls that are in the strike zone. He's in the 80th percentile in chase percentage. And this is an interesting statistic that gets to my second point on Wachs, an offensive player. His pull air percentage is in the 61st percentile. So this is not a guy who hits the ball in the air to the pull side, which is right field for him, a ton. Now turn on the highlights, and you see pull side home runs. He hit a 96-mile-an-hour Grant Fontenot home run at the box in May. Took it really off the plate inside, got the barrel to it, and hit it out of the ballpark to right field. But he doesn't do that a ton. And so when I look at the exit velocity, which is above 90 percentile, when I look at his barrel percentage, which is above 80 percentile, and you look at the fact that his pull air percentage is not very high, and that he went from 2 home runs as a freshman to 9 home runs as a sophomore, this is what Jay Johnson is talking about with growing into your power. He is a complete hitter at this point. He swings at the right pitches. He hits the ball in the barrel. He uses all fields. He gets on base. His home run total's going up. And he's not necessarily dependent on the pull, but it's there when he needs it. When he sees a mistake. When he gets the pitch he's looking for, he can drive it out of the ballpark. This is the profile to a T that Jay Johnson was looking for. I don't think that Jason Wachs is as good a player as Bino Waters. I don't think he's as good a player as Cade Arambidi. I don't think he's as good a prospect as Omar Cerna. I think he is absolutely an SEC player. I think he is absolutely the profile fit that LSU was looking for here as a left-handed hitter, as a good athlete, which he is. He's played left field, center field, and right field in Tulane. And he's growing as a hitter where the power is the last thing to come. Power is the last thing to come for Jake Brown. And that's the model that he's looking for. Power will be the last thing to come for Mason Braun. That's the profile that Jay Johnson is looking for. He's looking for guys to grow into the elite hitters that they are. Now, you're only going to get one season of Jason Wachs, but who'd you beat out for him? Well, he's a South Florida kid, Broward County kid down there in the very south of Florida. He looked at Miami. He looked at Florida. He looked at Florida State. He visited Tennessee. These are the schools that you're fighting Jason Wachs for, and LSU comes out with him. So how does he fit into what you're doing? Well, Andrew Rydell of College Baseball News, College Baseball Today, I can't remember. Sorry. Andrew Rydell, you can find him on Twitter. He is reporting that he thinks Wachs is going to move to center field. He may have heard that from somebody inside LSU's program. I wouldn't doubt that. I think Waters is the left fielder. I think Bino Waters is going to play left field. I think William Patrick can play center field and can play right field. I think, and Tulane suggested, by the way that they used him, that Wachs can play center field and right field. Right field's the Sun Field in Baton Rouge. That's a big deal. Center field is where the prospects play. Patrick is the better overall athlete, but you may want him in right field. I'm not sure how they'll sort that out. And I'll say this. I will just say this on the radio. I will say this live. I will say this on the record because I'm not reporting any news. I'm just telling you how I'm feeling throughout this offseason. I would have told you 3 weeks ago, I don't think Stephen Milam, I wouldn't say that. I would not bet on Stephen Milam being back at LSU next year. I never closed the door on it, but I said I would not bet on Stephen Milam being back at LSU. He is. I would have told you earlier last week that Cade Curlin was probably going to go to the pros because he had played college baseball for 4 years and he was a freshman All-American. He's not. And I would have told you last week, come on now, Jake Brown gave a curtain call with a broken hand on senior day. He's gone. I'm not telling you that Jake Brown's coming back. I'm not telling you that. I am telling you that I'm not going to sit here and slam the door on Jake Brown's LSU career. I feel similar to how I felt about Milam and Curland, but I'm now more open to anything at this point because there were some whispers late during the season that Jake Brown was considering that, and I know how much he loves playing at LSU. But again, I'm going to look at all the information, and the information is that Jake Brown, with a broken hand, got dressed in full uniform and took a curtain call on senior day. That feels like goodbye. And based on most draft projections, he is a 7-figure signee. So I am not telling you that Jake Brown is going to be in LSU's outfield next year. I'm also not telling you it's over. Derek Curiel is going to sign for over $5 million. I am willing to sit here and tell you that's over. He sat here with Moscona. He came in. He said, look, it sucks. I want to chase another championship with LSU. I love playing baseball at LSU. I love that. But the fact that he said it sucks means that he knows his time here is done. And it would be foolish, in my estimation, for him to come back. He can certainly sign for $6 million the following year if he comes back, hits 360 again, and plays great center field. He'd still be a junior. He'd still have his leverage. It doesn't matter that he's a year older. He's only 21, 22 years old. He'd be fine. But I don't think it's going to happen. He's got to take the $5-6 million. Brown is more like 1.5. So if I'm talking about fit here, you could have Jake Brown in center field next year. You could have Jake Brown in right field next year. But I'm not betting on that. I'm just now willing to open the door more than I was a week ago when I would have told you that Stephen Milam and Cade Curlin are not going to be there. It's just there seems to be something happening at the box. Jay Johnson's probably not thrilled with the way things went, and he's pushing chips in. And I'm just not going to slam the door on that until ink is dry, and that's in August. That's a July proposition. So, again, I'm not trying to irrationally inflate your hopes here on Jake Brown. I think I've been pretty clear. I don't think he'll be back. I am not slamming the door on it. If we're talking about fit, I'm just going to go ahead and leave Jake Brown's name off to the side. I'm going to slam the door on Curiel. I can't see that happening. Brown, I could see a way. I'm not going to wager significantly on that. So Wachs is a great addition for LSU, exactly the type of hitter Jay Johnson wants to bring in. Now you got Wachs on the left side. You've got Bino Waters from the left side. You've got Milam, who can hit from the left side. You got Braun from the left side. From the right side, you got Cerna, Aaron Beatty, Milam, Park. You're now balancing out your lineup left and right-handed. Patrick and Ruckert are certainly involved here. And you've got a lineup that looks very, very deep and very, very strong. If I had to project where Wachs hits in the lineup, I wouldn't be stunned if he was the leadoff guy. I wouldn't be stunned if he was hitting 6. They got enough really good hitters. Right now, I'm kind of looking at Park towards the bottom of the lineup, and I'm probably looking at Patrick toward the end of the lineup right now. But it's 1 through 6 or 7. It's really good old college hitters, and that's a very, very exciting thing for LSU in another baseball season to come, which we all hope goes significantly better than the one that just did. And I have reason to believe that it will. We just got to see what that pitching does, but I talked about that last week. So we're off and running here on a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. When we come back, let's take a brief look at Clemson. 3 things to look at with Davo Sweeney's program as we get into the summer. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com. I've been telling you. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. That doesn't mean if you're in Baton Rouge, well, man, that's just too far to drive. It's not. It's right up the road. It's a 25-minute drive for a great deal and amazing customer service. You can check out the inventory without driving a couple miles. You can check out the inventory right there on FabryChevrolet.com. You got new? Sort by that. You want pre-owned? You can sort by that. Price? You can sort there. Mileage as well. It's all right there at your fingertips. And then going up to St. Francisville and see them. Highway 61, the customer service is second to none there. That's why the Fabry family has been successful in this town for 35 years, because they treat their customers properly. You're going to get an amazing buying experience and wonderful service after the sale. It's all there at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Check out that entire inventory online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-939-2525. That's 800-939-2525. 800-939-2525.
What's the difference between a house and a home? A house is somewhere you live. A home is somewhere you start a family, make memories, or continue family traditions. At GMFS Mortgage, we make home happen. And our tradition is to help our clients from start to finish, whether you're ready to buy, build, renovate, or refinance. For more information, check out GMFSmortgage.com. That's GMFSmortgage.com. For GMFS Mortgage, where we make home happen.
GMFS LLC, NMLS 64997 is equal housing lender. Mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 208, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70435. Loan applications are subject to credit and property approval.
Want to join a winning team? TRICARE Automotive is currently seeking team members with 3 available positions for technicians. Become a part of the TRICARE team and enjoy a full benefit package, competitive pay, and no weekends. Go to TRICAREautomotive.com today.
Water is water, right? Not when it's Evermore. Smooth-tasting Evermore water is Mother Nature's masterpiece. Evermore is natural artesian water. Maybe you want a healthier lifestyle, a high-end athlete who wants better hydration, or a parent who wants something healthier for their kids. You want Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore. Available at great local retailers.
Can't remember that advertiser you heard us talk about on air? Check out the Our Partners page at louisianasports.net. Support us by supporting our partners, the businesses that keep our content free to you every day. Check out the Our Partners page at louisianasports.net.
A drink can blur more than your judgment. It can blur the lane lines, the distance, the danger, and the lives around you. If you've been drinking or using anything that impairs you, don't drive. Make the call, hand over the keys, get a sober ride. Because one bad decision can follow you for the rest of your life. Responsibility travels with you. One road. Brought to you by Louisiana Highway Safety Commission.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com is the website, FABT.com. First American Bank and Trust started up in 1910. 1910, y'all, is when they started. And 116 years later, they are stronger than ever, grown to 25 locations throughout southeast Louisiana. It means there's always one near you, whether you're in St. Tammany or Tangipahoa, up I-12, around the Baton Rouge area, Dutchtown, Jones Creek, maybe down in Metairie, or down the bayou, St. John, Lafourche, Terrebonne parishes. There's a First American Bank and Trust branch near you. If you're looking for a commercial loan, First American Bank and Trust. Looking for a personal loan, First American Bank and Trust. And when you're looking for approval on those loans, every decision is made locally here in southeast Louisiana. Not nationally, not in Chicago or LA or Atlanta, right here in southeast Louisiana. It's a community bank with all the resources you're looking for in a national bank. It's First American Bank and Trust. Find a location near you or check them out online at FABT.com. That's First American Bank and Trust. They are underway in Omaha, Nebraska. Elimination time for Alabama and Texas. It's an all-SEC day from Charles Schwab Field. Alabama has decided to take the field in Omaha in an elimination game in camouflage uniforms. This, my friends, is a significant indication that that program remains completely unserious. Completely unserious. They have, clog your ears if you don't want to hear this. Alabama has phenomenal baseball uniform potential. Their logo works on a baseball uniform. Like the Georgia Big G looks like the Green Bay Packers on a baseball uniform. It just doesn't look good. LSU adapted and they go with the interlocking for the baseball uniforms. Looks awesome. But Bama's A works great on a baseball uniform. Their pinstripe uniforms are great. Their crimson uniforms are great when they wear the grays with the script. That's great. When you go out there in camouflage, you look foolish. And that's what Alabama looks like. And it's ridiculous when their coach has to tell their fan base to show up for a regional. And it's ridiculous when you show up in Omaha for the first time in, 25 years, 27 years, and you wear camouflage, is what it is. But that's a story for another day. We'll talk College World Series coming up in 15 minutes. Let's talk some football. I am, as I mentioned at the top of the show, going through a series on LouisianaSports.net where I'm going to take every opponent that LSU has, all 12 of them, that includes McNeese and Louisiana Tech, and just give you 3 things on these opponents. It's not meant to be a deep dive. It's not meant to be significantly analytic. It's just meant to be an ease in to football content, which is going to carry us through Christmas, right? And so that's where we're going to start. Clemson is a program that a lot of people nationally are looking at for some of the wrong reasons, because Dabo Swinney is reluctant to get with the times. He's reluctant to dip into the portal. He's reluctant to significantly supercharge their NIL program. He wants to do things the way he did it when Taj Boyd was playing quarterback, when Deshaun Watson was playing quarterback, when they were beating Alabama for national championships. That way worked for him, so he wants to keep doing it that way. And I think that's part of the storyline here as we get into this offseason. If you look at Clemson, the first thing I want to talk about with them is throwing things into the Wayback Machine. They're bringing Chad Morris back to run their offense. Now, Chad Morris, when he was there from 2011 to 2014, was a huge success at Clemson. Taj Boyd was awesome. Morris's offenses averaged 36 points and 469 yards per game. There was a stretch of 3 years where Clemson and Baylor under Art Briles were the only programs in the nation that had a 3,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard receiver, and a 1,000-yard rusher every year from 2011 to 2013. Boyd broke the ACC touchdown responsible for record. Clemson had 14 offensive players drafted. Like, it was a really successful offense under Chad Morris. And as coordinators do, he flew the coop, spread his wings, went to SMU, did some good things for a program that was on hard times, and parlayed that into the Arkansas gig, where he went there and won as many SEC games as the head coach as my 15-month-old Keller, which is 0. He did not win a league game the whole time he was at Arkansas. He was fired, and since, he's kind of bounced around. Auburn gave him an opportunity during the COVID year. Then he went back to Texas high school. He took an analyst role with South Florida. He went to Clemson as an analyst. Then he went to Texas State to coach the wide receivers and be a passing game coordinator. And last year, he just took the year off and watched his son Chandler quarterback Virginia, which I think everyone can understand and respect to be a really good life decision for a guy that's got some money in the bank and can go watch his kid play college quarterback. Awesome. Well, now he's back in the business. But this is a guy that hasn't really called plays in 5 years. Can he take a Clemson offense that was 72nd nationally last year and 11th in the ACC in scoring and fix it? There are people very skeptical of that. Now, Dabo would tell you, look, this has worked in the past. This will work again. That's kind of the bet he's making, and it's against the bet that most people on the outside are looking. But can Chad Morris rekindle the magic? That's a question. Brings me to the second piece to this, and it's 3 things with Clemson. The second thing is who's replacing Cade Klubnik, and we know it's Christopher Vizina. Christopher Vizina has taken a path that you don't really see outside of Garrett Nussmeier in college football these days. He is a 4th-year junior who is just getting his chance. He was a 4-star recruit. He sat for 3 years behind Cade Klubnik. Now he's taking the reins as a junior. Now, we did see Garrett Nussmeier do this, but almost no one else does. But this is Clemson, where they do things the way that everyone used to do them. And that's what Vizina is. He went on over the last 3 years and has played in 14 games. He's completed 61% of his throws, 64 out of 105. He's thrown for about 600 yards and 4 touchdowns. He got 1 start last year against SMU, had a really nice day, 29 of 42, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Really nice work against SMU. He's a 4-star recruit in the class of 2023, but he is taking over the reins of this offense in Tiger Stadium for the first time, and that's going to be an adjustment. This is not SMU. This is LSU in Death Valley with game day on campus. But this is a guy who's not young. He's old by college standards. He just hasn't played much. Clemson has not dipped into the transfer waters and, plucked a quarterback every year. They, had the Trevor Lawrence into DJU, and he lost his job, and they ended up with Klubnik, who was the guy they thought would be the guy who saved everything, and he got him to the playoffs for a year, and then things kind of bottomed out last year. But this is the path of the Clemson quarterback. 4-star recruit, sit a little bit, come in and play. How does that work? We'll certainly see, but his second start all time is going to be inside Tiger Stadium. Last thing, and we touched on this a couple of weeks ago with an ESPN story, but I'll continue to talk about it. Clemson sent 9 players to the NFL draft last year, and all 9 went in the top 5 rounds. Blake Miller, offensive tackle, was a first-rounder, so was Peter Woods at defensive tackle. You had T.J. Parker and Avion Terrell, both went in the second round off that Clemson defense. Cade Klubnik was drafted. Like most programs, when you got 9 guys drafted, you're going to go to the portal and try to replace that with some older players. And Clemson took 10 transfers, and ESPN had none in the top 100, and Rivals had none in the top 100, none as a 4-star transfer. So it's a high volume of talent going out. Is it a high volume of talent coming in? And the people who do this evaluation would suggest no. That doesn't mean they're right. It just means they say no. They say you lost a lot of draftable guys. You didn't bring in anybody that we thought was a huge impact guy. Dabo Swinney would look at that and go, well, we got a great recruiting system. We bring in guys, we develop them. That's how we're going to win. And they're going to rely on high school recruiting. I did go back and look at their high school recruiting, and this is not everything, but I'm just telling you what the folks that do this for a living say. Rivals has not ranked a Clemson high school recruiting class in the top 10 over the last 4 years. Now, the one 4 years ago was 11th, but it was not in the top 10, and that was 4 years ago. Some of those guys have moved on. So there is no national outlet that suggests that Clemson is stockpiling a ton of talent. Dabo would disagree, but that's really the point of all this. All three of these things I could point to and say they could be just fine. Chad Morris could be a great offensive play caller for him. He's done it before. He could do it again. Christopher Vizina could be a phenomenal quarterback, but he's not one of these guys that's already started 2 years somewhere else and has come into a power. He's been on the bench, but he could be great. And Clemson could develop the next crop of 9 draft picks out of their high school signees that have come in and are now 3 years old into the program. But that's just not the way a lot of schools are doing it now. So it just depends on which side of the pie you're looking at. Are you looking at it as Clemson's got this figured out? Or are you taking Clemson's record the last 3 seasons, which is significantly below the standard that they set pre-NIL, pre-transfer portal, and going, well, the stuff you used to do isn't working anymore. Most people are leaning on that side. I'm not here to have that discussion exactly today. I do lean against them, but that's not really the discussion. Whether you like it or not, it's how they're doing it. And that's what's coming into Tiger Stadium on Labor Day weekend to open this season. Clemson doing it Dabo's way. Is it going to be the last year do it Dabo's way, or is he going to prove everybody wrong? I think it's going to be very, very interesting. One of the more interesting teams in college football this year, and LSU gets a first look at them come Labor Day weekend in Tiger Stadium. 3 things the Clemson Tigers. We'll do one every single day. We'll do Louisiana Tech tomorrow. Just try to keep your composure in anticipation of that. But on Wednesday, you get the Ole Miss Rebels. So we'll continue to move through LSU's schedule. It starts with Clemson. You can find all that at Hunt on LSU. And if you're looking for that in the written word, you can find it at LouisianaSports.net every morning around 8 o'clock. We'll have a new 3 things posted for the next 11 days. The Clemson one is already up there on our homepage, as well as a portal profile of Jason Wachs, which there it was. I knew I was going to do that because that's what I read it as. It's Wachs. Talked about it in the first segment there. Texas wasted no time on Alabama. It's 3-0 Horns in the first inning. We'll talk some College World Series next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power, GoTrosOnline.com, GoTrosOnline.com. We are here. Unbelievable savings on their Hustler Series at both locations of GoTro's Outdoor Power. If you go to GoTro's on Airline or GoTro's in Gonzales, you're going to get the great June savings I've been telling you about all month long. But you're also going to get no sales tax on those Hustlers. Commercial mowers up to $1,500 off, plus no sales tax this week. It's Father's Day week. I've been telling you about it for 2 weeks. Go by and see them. All in-stock models. They're going to give you that incredible deal. So if you need a new zero-turn mower, I got your spot. The largest Hustler dealer in the state of Louisiana, the national Hustler dealer 2 of the last 3 years. Go by and see them. Airline Highway in Baton Rouge or in Gonzales. You can find them online at GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTro's Outdoor Power.
Have you been to GoTommies.com yet? That's GEAUX Tommies.com for award-winning customer service, a free quote on new windows, doors, and siding, and tons of local 5-star reviews. That's GoTommies.com today.
Looking for a fun, free family night this June? Join the East Baton Rouge Parish Library for Summer Movies on the Plaza at the main library at Goodwood on June 5th, 12th, and 26th. Bring your blankets, lawn chairs, and favorite snacks for an evening under the stars. Pre-movie activities begin at 5 p.m. and the movie starts at 6:30. Enjoy free popcorn, food trucks, and stick around after the film for a family dance party. Admission is free and open to the public. For more information, visit ebrpl.com.
Whether you're a citizen with a new bundle of joy or a citizen opening a new small business, there's one bank that's perfect for you. Citizens Bank and Trust. For more than 100 years, we've been more than just a bank. We've been part of your community with traditional savings accounts and personal lending to business services, SBA loans, and much more. We're here to help you build your future at every stage of life's journey. So come see us at Citizens Bank and Trust, a bank for all citizens. Member FDIC.
There's more going on in your head than others see. Hopelessness, isolation, everything feels like a have to. You are constantly hit with these intrusive thoughts, like a 6-foot wave crashing over you all the time. You try to enjoy things, to relax, to sleep, but the waves keep hitting. Did you know 1 in 5 adults experience symptoms of depression or anxiety? You might use medication, but it's not helping. There's another option, TMS therapy at NeuroJust. Imagine those 6-foot waves gradually shrinking until the water feels calm. NeuroJust offers a proven, covered by insurance, non-invasive treatment with no medication, designed to help your own brain bring down the size of those waves. Patients have described a feeling of peace, not going to the negative, even an easier time falling asleep. Find out if NeuroJust is the solution for you. Call 225-755-9733. 225-755-9733. That's 225-755-9733.
We're celebrating the dads who do it all. The Rad Dad Contest is officially back. Citizens Bank and Trust bring you dad's favorite gifts ever. A Weber Traveler Grill, plus accessories thanks to Goodwood Hardware. A steak dinner from Chris's Specialty Foods. And a Manly Bayou bundle from Hawkso. All just for showing us your rad dad. Doing dad things. Vote now through June 18th at 1045ESPN.com. Happy Father's Day from Citizens Bank and Trust and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding health care forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
When you think healthcare, you probably don't think hospitality. You may not consider patient experience. That's where Guarantee Health Solutions comes in. Rachel Fricke and her team are experts in making sure that patient experience, start to finish, is a positive one in the healthcare system. So if you're in an urgent care facility, if you have a dental practice, if you're at a hospital or a private practice of some sort, and you haven't considered that, contact Guarantee Health Solution. It can start digitally with the website. How easy is it to navigate? How many clicks to care? And that goes to the visit. When you're walking in the front door, how are you greeted? What's the experience like once you sit in the waiting room? When you leave, are you taken care of? And is there someone to reach out to make sure follow-ups are conducted? These are all things that should be taken very seriously in healthcare and sometimes aren't. And Rachel Fricke learned that when she went through the system with her mother who's diagnosed with cancer. Rachel has a background in hotels, and she was like, well, I know hospitality, and this is not it. It's impersonal, and it's unpleasant. We can change that, and that's what Guarantee Health Solutions aims to do. Concierge healthcare is growing. They're right there in the middle of it. You're talking about a team at Guarantee Health Solutions that have managed over 1 million patients a year. They're in 12 states, more than 25 partnerships. They improved a Net Promoter Score recently with a partner from 65 to 90 in only 3 months' time. They're difference makers at Guarantee Health Solutions. If you'd like to learn more, check them out at GuaranteeHealth.com. That's GuaranteeHealth.com. All right, I got to face the music, right? Got to. Because I picked Ole Miss to win the College World Series before they threw a pitch. And Ole Miss is going home. first team eliminated from the College World Series. You got to face the music on that, right? Well, sure. I'll tell you this. My Ole Miss picks started after the SEC tournament. I told you I thought Ole Miss was live going to Lincoln. They swept that regional. I told you I really liked them at Auburn. They swept that super. And that's why I told you I liked them in Omaha, because I liked their starting rotation. Rabe is pitching his way into a first-round pick. Elliott has been nails for them over the course of 5 years of postseason baseball with a lot of injuries involved. And then, of course, Cade Townsend is a likely first-round pick who's their number 3. Meanwhile, Walker Hooks has been awesome. Calhoun's been a great setup man, and their bats had done plenty against what was a really good pitching staff against Auburn. So I liked Ole Miss. And here's what happens when you get to Omaha sometimes. Your dudes don't show up. Rabe had his worst command of the season in their opener against North Carolina. Now, he gutted through 5 2/3, and he got him into the 6th inning, but he doesn't walk people, and he walked a ton. And then they went to Walker Hooks in both of those games, and he got lit up. And Walker Hooks has not been lit up in 6 weeks. And that's the thing about Omaha, is that you can have a good team when you go up there, but you've also got to play well. And Ole Miss just played really poorly. I don't regret the pick at all. I thought it was a really reasonable pick. Ole Miss is eliminated from the College World Series, and Cade Townsend, who might go in the first round of the draft, didn't throw a pitch. Now, I did understand that that's a home run-based offense that was going to a place where it's really hard to hit home runs. And they couldn't against North Carolina. DeCaro was brilliant. But they did hit 3 home runs yesterday. They also gave up 3 home runs. First game in the College World Series where both teams hit 3 home runs since 2001. But Ole Miss just didn't show up. Their dudes, their pitchers didn't show up. Rabe wasn't good. Hooks was awful. Calhoun wasn't great. Elliott wasn't great. And Troy bashed them all over the yard. So they're toast. And that's not going to make me cry, but I do have to talk about it because I picked them to win. They certainly did not win. Now let's talk about some of these other games as well. Georgia played Texas in the marquee game on Saturday night, right? And here's what you got. You got Joey Volchko delivering his greatest performance as a college pitcher. 2 years at Stanford, 1 year at Georgia, best he's ever been. He was throwing a 95-mile-an-hour cutter that was moving a foot. He was snapping off sliders that were in the high 80s, low 90s. He wasn't walking guys. He struck out 15, complete game. He dominated. Meanwhile, Carson Tenney, who's an All-American catcher for Texas, couldn't throw the ball to first base. I know there were some LSU fans watching that were getting 2015 PTSD. Because you had a veteran who had had a great season, who's the winningest pitcher in the history of LSU baseball, and Jared Poche, who threw the ball over the first baseman's head twice. And Tenney the first one, he just floated. And the second one, he should have thrown home and ended up winging it into right field. And then Volantis settled in, but by that time, Volchko had it on cruise control, and there was nothing that Texas could do. Meanwhile, let's talk about this because this is something I wrote about on Sunday that is relevant to LSU. Look at what's happened in the College World Series so far. I just told you why Ole Miss went home. Rabe did not have his good stuff. Elliott wasn't great. I just told you why Georgia beat Texas, because their pitcher, who's an ace, had his best day as a collegiate pitcher. Same thing can be said for Oklahoma. Cord Rager, who's been wildly mediocre as a freshman. When you're talking about ace terms, he's been great for a freshman, but if you're talking about College World Series Omaha ace all season, wildly mediocre. LSU touched him up in Baton Rouge. He went out there and was just dynamite against Alabama. Dynamite. And then you look at Jason DeCaro, who carved up Ole Miss. And you look at what's winning games aside from the Troy games. The Troy games have been offensive because Troy has some good hitters and they have no pitching. So the Troy games have gotten offensive. But the good teams in Omaha, The teams that are a threat to win the national championship, they are winning with starting pitching. If you take the Troy game out when they played West Virginia, and you look at the next 3 games of the first round when the Aces went, the winning teams gave up a total of 3 runs in 3 games. That is the recipe. It's Anderson, it's Ianson, it's Skeens, it's Floyd. Ackenhausen did it. Griffin Herring did it. Thatcher Hurd did it. It's starting pitching wins in Omaha above all else. Yes, Tennessee went up there and hit a bunch of home runs without a true ace and won the national championship in 2024. I'm not suggesting it's impossible to do it any other way, but the best formula to get there and win is to pitch it great. And you don't have to be the 3rd pick in the draft to pitch it great. It's a friendly place to pitch, but you have to throw strikes. You have to strike some guys out. And you need your starting pitchers to work deep into games so as not to tax your bullpen. There are not a ton of college programs with awesome bullpens. North Carolina's got 2 studs. You saw McDuffie. You've seen Glauber. They're awesome. And LSU had Shores dealing last year, and it was fantastic. And Riley Cooper had his moments, no question about it. But the starting pitching is where the best pitchers pitch. They eat the most innings. That's how it gets done. And when I look at this LSU team entering 2027, I love the lineup. It looks great. I have my doubts about their starting pitching. Now, if you want to tell me, hey, I'll just fast forward 11 months. By the end of May next year, you're going to see Evans is a stud, Schmidt's a stud, Hood's a stud, Paz is a stud. They're fine. That path is seeable. I can see that path. It's just not proven. Your offense at this point looks pretty proven. But you've got to have starting pitching to win up there. It's the easiest way to maneuver things. And you're seeing it with the way these guys have pitched thus far. And the team that has gone home, their starters didn't have their best stuff. And so that's the thing. I'm trying to watch this NCAA tournament through a different lens than I've really ever watched it because I just didn't have a dog in the hunt. And I'm watching it going, okay, the regional round is nuts. 2, you've got to score in these little ballparks. You saw that in regional play. You saw that in Athens. You saw that in Atlanta. You had to score runs. You have to hit some home runs. You need some power. But by the time you get to Omaha and that field gets bigger, you need to miss bats. You need to get guys deep into games. You need your starting pitching to show up. And the teams that are in the winner's bracket, North Carolina, Georgia's going to win again tonight. They've got starting pitching. And I think that's a crucial thing, obviously, to look at here in the College World Series. So Alabama's answer to Texas 3 spot. They do have a run. We play on up there in Omaha. 3-1 Texas leads. Ruger Riojas on the bump for the Texas Longhorns. It was Volantis in Game 1, Riojas here in Game 2. I expect Texas to take care of business here and move on. But right now, it looks like Georgia and North Carolina are very much in the driver's seats, and that is not even counting tonight's game where Oklahoma could beat Georgia. I just don't think it's going to happen. So we'll see. I've been very wrong before. Plenty happy to talk about it. We'll come close out hour number 2. Hour number 1 coming up next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci, go take a tour over at Marucci. Such a cool spot to go see, and such a cool story. And you can see how the bats are made. It's the official bat of Major League Baseball. They make 1,200 of them every day. You can see where they're whittled down. You can see where they're finished. You can see where they're stained. You can see where they're sent off. And you can also learn the story of 2 former big leaguers who decided to start making bats with their former trainer, and all of a sudden they decided they were onto something. 22 years later, they got the official bat of Major League Baseball. Such a cool story that you can learn. So take a tour and understand that when you buy a campus tour when you buy a campus tour ticket, you get 20% off in the campus tour store as well as the hitter's house. So go to maruccisports.com/campus-tour and buy that ticket. It's summertime, kids aren't in school, looking for something to do for them during the day. Take them to Marucci. See a tour. Such an awesome way. Spend an afternoon and see one of the true gems here in Baton Rouge. That is, of course, our friends at Marucci.
In Baton Rouge, industry is thriving and culture never left. From blueprints to bayous, boardrooms to breweries, it's where work and life move forward together, always scaling for what's next without losing what matters. We're a region of makers, movers, founders, and foodies who turn ambition into impact and ideas into lasting change. If you're looking for a place to grow with purpose and pride, you'll find it here. It's better in Baton Rouge. BetterInBTR.com.
That road trip you've been planning is waiting for you. This summer, All Star Automotive can make it real. We're under new ownership and ready to help you find the perfect vehicle for summer adventures. With 12 convenient locations, over 2,600 new and used vehicles to choose from, and relationships with over 50 lenders, it's never been easier to get into a new ride. Plus, get a lifetime warranty on new and qualifying pre-owned vehicles and complimentary maintenance for a full year. AllStarAutomotive.com. Your summer starts here.
Water is water, right? Not when it's Evermore. Smooth tasting Evermore water is Mother Nature's masterpiece. Evermore is natural artesian water. Maybe you want a healthier lifestyle, a high-end athlete who wants better hydration, or a parent who wants something healthier for their kids. You want Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore. Available at great local retailers.
At TRICARE Automotive, we specialize in fleet professionalism with a personal touch. So whether you have a 100-truck fleet or your personal one-car fleet, take it to TRICARE and see the difference.
For most backup generators, the engine's made by one company, the alternator by another, the controls by somebody else. When something fails, good luck figuring out who to call. A Kohler generator installed by Gen Gators is built different. One name on the engine, the alternator, and on the controls. One warranty covers all of it.
The same commercial-grade equipment right in your backyard. Installed by Gen Gators with a 10-year warranty. Visit GenGators.com. Gen Gators, that's right, Gen Gators with a Z. Gen Gators, built different.
Hey, it's Hunt Palmer. I'm here to tell you about my friend Jonathan Carbo and the Highland Insurance Group based right here in Baton Rouge. At the Highland Insurance Group, they pride themselves on technical expertise when it comes to commercial insurance. If you're a business owner who isn't familiar with the details of your current insurance program, you're not alone, but now is the time to fix it, not after the hurricane or the car accident. Call the Highland Insurance Group today to set up a free audit of your policies and let their experts place your program with one of the dozens of carriers they're contracted with. Or find them online at the Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com.
When you've been in the industry for over 20 years, you learn a few things. For one thing, you learn your product inside and out, but you also learn how to ask the right questions and give satisfying answers. Jim's Firearms.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com. It is storm season right this very minute. Time to make sure your insurance program reflects that and is ready for storm season. We never know when that next hurricane is going to hit. It's been a quiet couple of years, and feel like hopefully there's a couple more coming, but you never know. The time to figure that out is not when that storm gets into the Gulf. It's time now. How'd you get your building evaluated? Do you have the right number on that? Do you have co-insurance penalties if your coverage is improper? What about your business interruption limits? Are you comfortable knowing you can't work for 3 weeks because a severe storm rolled through? Are you going to be able to recoup those revenues? Are you going to be able to keep paying your expenses? That's what insurance is designed to do. But you need to check now and make sure that it's covered. And if it's not, you need to fix it. The Howard Insurance Group is here to do that. They've got a team of experts. They've got dozens of markets they can place your property coverage with. So if you're not comfortable with your current property policy or you haven't talked to your current broker about that property policy, you just know what it costs, contact Jonathan Carver and the Highland Insurance Group and say, hey, I want to make sure that I'm ready for hurricane season. Just take a look at this and make sure we're good to go. They're happy to do it. It's the Howard Insurance Group. Find them online at HighlandIG.com. I'm going to close up the hour here just with a thought. We haven't talked a lot of NBA Finals on this show, and for good reason. It's not necessarily a local talking point. It's the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks, right? But I was really taken by the reactions from New York City. I've said this throughout the NBA playoffs this year. The Knicks winning the championship, being good, being relevant, is just cooler to the guy with no dog in the fight than it is if the Thunder are good or the Nuggets are good or the Kings or Magic or Suns are good. the Knicks are a more culturally relevant franchise. New York is the biggest media market in the world. It's a fan base that is starved for a winner, that has what it self-describes as the greatest arena in the world. You've got celebrities, which some people may be turned off by that. I kind of think it's cool to have Spike Lee and Ben Stiller and Timothée Chalamet and the whole crew right there at courtside. I think it's cool to have Manhattan go nuts over this team. It's just cooler to see tens of thousands of people lining the streets singing that New York song after the Knicks win, hanging off street. It's just cooler to see that than it is to see downtown Oklahoma City or Cleveland. It just is. And I just thought it was awesome. It brought me back to when the Cubs won. And I didn't have as long as a lot of people. There are Knicks fans in their late 40s, in their early 50s that have never seen the Knicks win. When the Cubs won the World Series, I was 16, so I was I can't even do the math. 28, is that right? Yeah, 28 years old. That's not an eternity. I'd only been a Cubs fan really for like 20 years. But there are dads and sons that have never seen this type of thing that it was bringing back Cubs memories. And that is, again, cooler than when Boston wins again because they see that all the time. Good for them. I like seeing teams celebrate winning the whole thing. But like seeing people react to things they've never seen before that they've wanted their whole life is cool. And I sit here as someone who has watched LSU win a baseball championship in the last 12 months, who has sat through 3 LSU championships in the building for football, who has watched the Cubs win the championship. Like, I can't put myself in those shoes unless LSU basketball wins it. And so to watch someone go through something that I have experience with that I won't really get again, it's really cool. I thought it was awesome. The games on the floor were sensational. The comeback was unbelievable. The 2 dogfights in San Antonio were great. The game in the closeout was awesome. I have my complaints with some of the way that San Antonio handled things. I mean, De'Aaron Fox just